welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. St. Martindale. Afterman Software.
Afterman Software.
You're the IT guy. You're the CTO of Afterman Software.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about your company does a lot of services.
Yes.
What is your niche? What do you specialize in?
So we are primarily a software consulting firm. So our specialty beyond, I think, what a lot of consulting firms offer in terms of project management and business analysis and some of these other services, sure. But our main niche is to stick within the software development side particularly. We like the high scale, high throughput, high volume systems build outs.
Okay.
So we've actually done a lot of work for probably a lot of companies you've heard of, airlines, banks, all sorts of stuff. So we're like the little tiny consulting firm that has a whole lot of really big clients. It's kind of cool.
In the IT field, right? I mean, we hear a lot about big data.
Mm-hmm.
Do you deal with that at all?
Somewhat.
Okay.
I think though a lot of times what people are talking about when they talk about big data is the analysis, of data after the fact. While we do some work there, we're really interested in the operational nature of making the business work, in real time, not necessarily the analytics afterward, right? So, in other words, some of the systems we built out is we had a particular retailer here in America that I can't mention the name of, but they had problems because they couldn't reach 1,500 transactions per second was their challenge, right?
Wow.
So these are the types of things that we get pulled in to help solve, right? The analytics afterward on how that's flowing and how they're making their money, that's great, that's wonderful, that's interesting, but it's not our love, right?
When you are confronted with that type of problem,
mm-hmm.
How do you approach it? And I'm going to kind of make the analogy from an entrepreneurial point of view. Do you
Sure.
approach business the same way that you approach that IT problem? Because I'm sure in that particular company describing that issue for you, oh, we cannot do this, da 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 da. You must have some kind of, in your mind, some kind of process that you follow, right?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's if it was something I think that we could put a process to, we probably wouldn't be in business, right? In other words, anybody would be able to do it,
sure,
I suppose,
sure,
right?
Sure.
Really, frankly, I think the magic is in just having the right employees on our staff, the right levels of experience, the right folks to be able to kind of pull this magic off. Because every time you walk into one of these environments, it's never the same problem.
It's never the same problem.
It's never the same problem. It's never the same solution. It's always something completely different, right?
Otherwise, you would pull out the book, the manual, go to page 33.
Yeah, exactly, right?
There's the solution.
And that's just not the way this works. I know a lot of software consulting firms that is the way it works, right? And so. When you find these, and I won't mention their names because I want to badmouth them. but when you go in, you find it's half kind of experienced consultants, and the other half kind of very green consultants. And that's where they make their margins is by training up this half the staff all the time, right?
Exactly.
And I think where we've gone completely different is. No, we really can't have that, right? We're here to solve the hard problems, the big problems, which means our staff, while we want to invest and pull people up and train up new people, it's not going to be half and half. It's going to be 1 for every 10, if that makes sense, right?
It makes sense, because if I am a company that is contracting you to
mm-hmm.
come in and solve a specific issue,
right?
You could be telling me anything.
Exactly.
Because if I knew the answer, why would I need you?
Proof's always in the pudding, though, right?
Proof is always in the pudding.
So our job is, let's get this thing across the finish line, and let's actually make a real impact in the way you do business as quickly as possible. I think probably a testament to that is we've never had marketing or a sales effort of any sort. It's been 100% word of mouth, since the beginning. Not just through this company, but actually through the last company that we built and sold over a 5-year period as well that did many of the same services. So. It's been a great ride.
Which again, I was saying, entrepreneurship is a very difficult thing, and there's some companies out there that have tried to put entrepreneurship in packages and say, all right, this is what you do first, and go to page 2 and everything else. And what I'm hearing from
I'm
you,
sure they make a lot of money selling the books.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But as we're discussing right now, and you've had the opportunity to listen to a couple of the interviews, we're all different. I mean, entirely
Yes.
different businesses.
Yes.
So to approach a business with the same book, with the same cookie cutter solutions,
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
And even if it did, how are you going to differentiate yourself from everybody else, right? Then
Exactly.
you're just, okay,
Even within
great.
that industry.
You know, yeah, just take your little sliver and go home, right? But no, that's not. You can't do that. You can't grow a real business like that, in my opinion. But you know, it probably brings us to something else that we really love, you know, and have done a lot. You know, over the last couple of years, we've really tried to invest a lot in helping other startups, right? Because, you know, to your point, I love seeing other people succeed, right? Well,
Sure.
one of my early mentors told me, you know, you get busy building your dreams, or you just stay busy building somebody else's, right? Which has
Right.
always been one of my favorite things to say, right? So, you know, we have a lot of really great clients and a lot of very large clients. What we've done kind of historically is try to use that revenue so that we can like reinvest back into usually like one or two a year. Hard to take on many more than that.
Sure,
but,
sure.
but one or two other startups a year that we can really kind of help, you know, reach their goals. You know, how can we help them build their software, help them go find funding, you know, help them succeed, which to me is much more fun, right? Because now we get to build startups in plural, if that makes any sense.
Do
right?
you see the world from a systems point of view all the time? Do you have that, or are you more like it just
Probably
things just
probably
happen?
more than my wife would like, yeah. But no, I mean, you know, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, you strike me as somebody that has to be very analytical. I mean, you're looking at an issue, and then you identify a problem, and then potential solutions. Why is this not working? And then you try.
I fight it. Yeah, it's difficult to kind of get out of that mindset, right? But I think yeah, I have a tendency to kind of look at things in more of an analytical nature.
In helping these businesses, and the reason that I bring that up because in helping these businesses, you have a very distinct way of looking at the person or the business that you're going to assist or help,
Right.
than the entrepreneur that is probably with the blinders like this. So you're coming from an entirely different point
and,
of
you
view,
know, that
right?
happens so often, right? And it happens to all of us. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. You know, some of my best assets are, you know, the employees on my staff, right? Because they see things in ways that I don't. You know, my wife sees things in ways that I don't. And to your point, when we go in and help other folks, yes, we see things in ways that they don't. You know, and it's so often, you know, people trying to solve problems the way that they thought they should be when they came into it. You know, this preconceived notion of a solution, right?
Right.
That doesn't always work. You know, and being able to kind of come in as an outsider and look at the problems you're having, not having been the guy who's been here for 10 years, you know, who's been trying to solve the same problem the same way. You know, just having that fresh set of eyes, I think, is where a lot of the value is we bring all the time.
For us mere mortals, we don't see the future the way that you see the future because you have the pulse in what's working, what's going on, what the next best thing is going to be. What is that thing? Do you know?
I'll tell you when I find out.
I was hoping
We'll
you come up
probably
with,
find out at the same time.
I was hoping you come up with an answer, man.
No,
because
I don't know, man. It's you know, look, the whole thing for me is all about problem solving, having fun problem solving. It's really not about the technology. Technology's cool. I love technology. You know, technology guy. But
do we have too much of it?
really?
Are we?
No. We don't have enough. We'll never have enough. Technology's solves everything, but that's not really what we're really talking about here. What we're really talking about here is problem solving, right? And problem solving can be done with or without technology. Problem solving that's the real fun, right? Otherwise, it's technology for technology's sake.
That is a beautiful thing, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on the show,
All
man.
right, thank you.
And that's a great insight for me. I mean, I wish I could understand more of your world, that I could kind of immerse myself just for 5 minutes.
We'll spend some time.
I would love to because it fascinates me. You know, how do you approach a problem and how you solve it? I think that system, and again, it's not the cookie cutter, identify on page 33 what the problem is,
yeah.
but rather that approach that you take, that particular journey like that right there, I think it's genius.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
All right.
Thank you again.
Thank
man.
you very
I appreciate
much.
it, Sam. With that, we're out.